Mondays to Fridays, 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. in the newsroom. You can't afford to miss it.
Hello viewers at home. You are welcome to today's edition of the program in the newsroom. My name is Karen. Today I have to welcome you on the program today, being the first edition in the new year 2023. Now, we are here again with some of the salient topics that has to be discussed, and they are bordering on the issues affecting Nigeria. First on the list is this one. Obasanjo is part of foundation of Nigeria's problem. That comment is coming from a former External Affairs Minister, Professor Bolaji Akinyemi. And of course, there are some people in this country, when they talk or pass comment or they remark on anything, you cannot but ponder on the remark and look at it critically. That is what informed this topic on the program today. Then secondly, we are going to look at the charge coming from the labor to workers that changed Nigeria's destiny in 2023 through general election. That is the labor telling the entire workforce in the country. Then thirdly, we are going to look at the recent audit report, which says that 17 million barrels of crude oil exported without records. My guests are here with me in the house. Smole Shitu Alamo, you are welcome on the program, in the first edition.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Happy New Year to you.
Same to you.
And to our viewers, and to the corporation.
All right. So Fadipa is also here with me. So you are welcome on the program.
Thank you very much, and I say Happy New Year to our viewers, esteemed viewers, and to you too.
Okay.
So this year is going to be a better year for us in Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you very much. Now let's commence the program. The first topic, Obasanjo is part of the foundation of Nigeria's problem, called Bolaji Akinyemi. Smollett, you see this comment coming from Bolaji Akinyemi. How do you take it?
Is it the one we saw on social media? Or, because the Bolaji Akinyemi I saw on social media didn't look like him. So because as far as I'm concerned, maybe coincidence of...
no, it's the same man.
Okay. They give us a different picture of his expected, his traditional bushy hair.
But you are going.
In recent years, but since you have really confirmed, when you have confirmed it, I can. Because when I saw it, I was a little bit in doubt. Well, when somebody like that speaks, it is authoritative, because he has been around for a long time. He was in charge of before even National Institute. Yes. So these ones they know. When they talk, they know. He and Gambari, when they talk about international relations, you must respect them. So if he brings in an accusation like that, I will accept it, I will look at it. Whichever way you see it, a man cannot be in power for 11 years out of Nigeria's 62 years and not have some little things that you can point out. But he's saying this all because of the position, perhaps the position the retired president or former president has taken to champion Obi's agenda. If that is it, which everything points that it is, I think it's the one. I personally don't like the idea of Obasanjo at 85 going to 86 still being relevant in Nigerian politics. He's supposed to be a statesman. He's supposed to be advising, because everybody goes to him one way or the other. But I am not taking it away from him that he's an individual Nigerian who has a vote and can also decide where he wants to go. But in government, out of government, for how many years now? About 2007 to this place, 2003, should be about 13 or so years. You still want to be relevant in politics, in the active politics. I would have thought that the old man at 86 should go and rest and then watch Nigerians do their own thing, supply advice, not necessarily in public.
Okay.
Supply advice to whoever is sitting there. Else, people will tend to think, hey, Obasanjo, they will blame you and say he only wants somebody he can control. Because he has always been supporting one person or the other against this. At 86, I think, I mean, if that's the formal age, because I suppose it should be more than 80, 86. The old man should pipe down because, as Yorubas will say, Babada, Babawa Noli, is much preferable to saying Babada, Babalujoko, Babanu, Babanu. That's not very good.
So let me go to Zaya. Now, Obasanjo is part of foundation of Nigeria's problem. How do you see this comment from Bolaji Akinwumi?
Yeah, I want to believe that Bolaji Akinwumi has been on scene for a very long period. And has seen the ins and outs of this country. But primarily, I want to believe that Bolaji Akinwumi is speaking from an historical background of the fact that fundamentally, when you're talking about democracy in Nigeria today, it's very democratic dispensation. But just started it on a very wrong note, on a very wrong footing. You see, when democracy was being handed over, he handed over to the wrong person. And he knew what he was doing at that time. He just wanted to hand over. Let's say, you must have democracy at all costs. No, you don't have democracy at all costs. You must have a normal democracy. And that's what he did when he was handing over. Well, he was a military president at that time. And he handed over. And Nigerians will continue to blame him for that, which was fundamentally the problem started with in this country today. And if you look at Obasanjo's regime himself, when he came back as a civilian president, you say he did well. There are so many things hanging on his neck till now. And I'm always saying it. Obasanjo condemning Atiku. Obasanjo is culpable for Atiku's crimes. And if he had been in government at that time and he decided Atiku would not be interrogated or indicted for what he did at that time, there must be a reason behind it. Because if Atiku were to be indicted, Obasanjo would have gone down with him. And yet he kept quiet. Now, when he started the government, he started blaming Atiku for one thing or the other. And just from 3 weeks ago, I think, I saw Obasanjo on social media again in a particular event. President Atiku again that way, one can commit errors. And one should be forgiven if that person retracts from his errors and blah, 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 blah. Saying Atiku is good for presidency. You see, I see the man talking from both sides of his mouth. And so when Obasanjo, when the Prime Minister saying that Baba was part of the problem, yeah, I want to believe that he is. He is. So I think Obasanjo should just go back home, sit down and retire gracefully, and let me just come to him for advice. And he's not talking the way he's talking, not writing letters the way he's writing letters. And mind you, Obasanjo has only one vote. Only one vote.
Yes.
And even the rulers in their kingdoms, rulers, cannot coerce people to go and vote for a particular candidate. They might tell you go and vote for this, yes, it's an advice. So if you are interested in voting for that candidate, you go ahead and vote for that candidate. You are not interested. But Obasanjo has the right to say this is my candidate. He has that right as in Nigeria. Nobody should call him for that. But now to say that you just go and do this, you spoil the future of the youth right from the beginning. You did. And so why are you now coming out to say that you just must use that, you just must use that? You just must use their brain to know who to vote for out of the candidates. Now, you have a particular case, the cases, not even one, with Tinubu when he was Lagos State governor. You do allow him to bring electricity to Lagos, the way you wanted to do, you botched that thing. Then, when it was time for this local government thing, you retired his funds for the local governments. And at that point, you can see that Tinubu and himself started a kind of altercation at that period. Atiku, you said Atiku is a rogue. That he did this under you. So the two of them, I know very well that you cannot say they should vote for any of them because you know where you stand with the two of them. Now Atiku is somebody, I mean, Obi is somebody that has not had any altercation with you, has not had anything with you. So he's the kind of man that you can easily talk to as a son, and he will listen to you. If he will listen to you, I'm not saying he will listen. If he will listen, even if you get there. So when a person says that, we know where it's coming from. So by saying that people should go and vote for one candidate or the other, I don't think he has that kind of command over people. That's the way I see it. So I believe what Akinwumi said that Obasanjo himself wanted to go for third term. So all these things, if you see everything that
undemocratic.
yes, undemocratic thing. So if you see everything that he has done so far, then you see that he is one problem for the country, which we should be left to stand aside.
All right, thank you. Larry, Father, I welcome you on the program.
Happy New Year. Glad to see you again.
Yeah, you met us discussing about the comment by Bolaji Akiyemi saying that Obasanjo is part of the foundation of Nigeria's problem. How do you see this comment?
Well, I'm happy he's saying that now, because at some point we were reading one Dr. Bolaji Akiyemi and we didn't know who was talking. For years now, we've not heard Professor Bolaji Akiyemi contribute to the national politics of Nigeria. However, if you look up north, you see the Tanko Yakasa is still talking about Nigeria.
Yes.
They are the same, even older than Obasanjo. So if we are looking at his age, and as somebody who has ruled Nigeria twice, I think he has every moral right to comment on issues that have to do with Nigeria. Now, he cannot exonerate himself, even Professor Akiyemi, worked mostly with the military. And we're talking about foundations of the problem of this country that we are still living with. He came from that time. He has been a beneficiary of that group of governance that we had. Although, at that time, there was still a semblance of reasonable administrative culture. So if Obasanjo has seen both sides of the divide, at the highest level of it, he is morally covered. So because we are talking about a nation, and when we are talking about this nation, and people of his age...
Larry, don't forget, Bolaji Akiyemi is accusing Obasanjo now that is the foundation of Nigeria.
That's what I'm saying, that, you see,
not for the election.
it has to do with being the foundation. He's talking about him being the foundation because of what he said recently, because of his position about picking a candidate.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
That was why he's now building that backline. I'm happy he has come, because by that statement, he has brought himself into fore again. And people will look at some of the decisions he also made at different places that he has represented Nigeria. Those are the things that people look at. What is your own score sheet as well? Why you held position? Beyond that. Now, if Obasanjo was talking, I understand where his standpoint was from.
Okay.
Obasanjo and the Adebanjo group never saw eyeball to eyeball politically before. However, Obasanjo was part of the political group that said it may not be written in the constitution, but let it be a convention that the North will take a shot, the South will take a shot. So while he was there, he believed he was the Southern person, and so the Iwayawu and all the rest of them that wanted a shot at presidency after him, he did not support them. He told them to go and shop for a candidate for him, preferably from the North, because he was from the South. You remember Donald Duke was interested. You remember the what's his old elderly man from Odiri was interested. He was already going around the states, poised to take position as a candidate. But he chose Yaradua there. Because Yaradua could not go the hog of the 4 years, it happened on Jonathan as the vice president to take position, which comes to the South. So when Jonathan was going to have the 4 years after the 2 years of Yaradua, by right, he had the right to 2 terms, and the first term was wrong with Yaradua. The second term was the 4 years he ran alone. Obasanjo was of the opinion that that would have been another slot for South, 6 years. Let it go to the North. That was why he withdrew his support for Jonathan. Obasanjo took PDP card and followed Buhari. So let us put all this in perspective. And for the 8 years of Buhari, the only thing Obasanjo did was to be writing letters to Buhari. Because he knew, yes, we were part of it that brought you, but we are now seeing nepotism, which was not part of the equation of what we wanted. We are now seeing you picking people who are not exhibiting capacity, and he puts them, when people write, there are things you can place on the table and pick the points and faults that you find in it. And after that, he felt the thing should come back to the South. The Southern governors themselves, in the domain of Okowa, decided let power come to the South. He was not talking then, he was not writing letters, because he did not belong to any political party. But that does not stop him from being a statesman, from being part of those who said North, then South. So if he's saying, wait a minute, we are saying these guys are agitating that they want to break up. We say they cannot. Nigeria is indivisible. He was part of the people saying that. So if Southeast is now asking for a shot, South was Jonathan, he was Southwest, and then we have had the shot for what's his name, Atiku. But when Obasanjo supported Atiku was the video people are still now playing back that you saw recently. I'm saying that authoritatively. No. I disagree with you. Let me last. You saw it very recent. No. What is said there was very, very recent. What you meant.
Okay.
If you look at the background, if it's the video, if you look at the background of that video, it was Obi that was beside. Look, let me tell you, so many things are going on now. People are doctoring tapes and all the rest.
Yeah.
As we speak, there is a video of Peter Obi on PDP rights. Alone, Peter Obi. So all those ones, you see, people are doing strange things. Now, this one's beyond that. Obasanjo has said he's pitching his tent to someone. Let Professor Akiyemi come and say who he is pitching his tent with.
Okay.
Let him not force. Nobody has the right to speak.
Right.
You have the freedom of association as part of the constitution and trained powers.
Now, you see, beyond politics now, you see, when Obasanjo was in office, what are those steps that he took that actually created...
That is the issue. You should learn it because he has no support for a candidate.
No, you are not. I'm speaking. Everything I said was based on perspective and points.
The issue we are supposed to be discussing is whether or not Obasanjo...
What you said?
It's not premised on Obasanjo belonging to a particular or having a softer spot for. He's saying he was part of the problem. Those are the issues we have to look at. Yes, he was part of the problem. Every Nigerian leader has been part of the problem in the last 62 years or so. Every Nigerian head of state. Look, Obasanjo could have solved the power problem we had in this country. He could have solved it easily. He could have allowed the constitution to be rewritten. So when he came into office, it was a green land. The military people had respect for him. They were a little bit afraid. The civilians, he could have mobilized the National Assembly at his own beck and call. And we could have done some changes, tremendous changes, that would have made us a better people now. He didn't do that. So Bolaji can be right. We don't have to situate it all on the fact that, because he has spoken his mind. That's his mind. And it is not a Nigerian mind. I don't have any particular support base for now. I'm just looking at, but I know that I will vote. You see, the issue we are looking at is not Obasanjo. Don't let us link it to the fact that because he has supported. No, it can be the remote cause or immediate cause. But as a leader who ruled this country, either civilian or military, for 11 years, 11 and a half years, 8 years plus 3.5 years. He should, and people like Bolaji Akinye, he's the former external affairs minister. They know better than some of us do. What we know are our readings. They went in there, they practicalized it. So if he said so, let us assess that aspect of it and let's forget about politics. Larry making the point that he should also come and tell us who is supporting. That's immaterial.
Yes, what you condemn any candidate.
That's immaterial. And again, it tells me and the viewer at home that you have your own whatever it is you are supporting. I can't hold it against you. You are a Nigerian, an individual. If you chose not to be a candidate, you must not choose not to be an electorate. You must. So this is what let us bring the argument down to whether the man did well. How come this Otta Road, he couldn't do it? How come? The average Southwest will tell you it is the Yakubu Gowon regime that started. Okay, maybe they finished it. The expressway. This is the road every Nigerian plies. And it has taken us donkey years to get it fixed. What's the meaning of that? My basic concern was when he came in 1999, if he had done certain things, basic things for this country to move forward, this country would have moved forward. I thank God he did something, try to exit us from the financial that
mess.
Yes, he did that. Okay. He did that. But it doesn't take it away from the fact that he also contributed to some of these things. How would you as a Democrat even think about changing things to become a third? He will always tell you he never, but we are no fools. Everybody knew that he wanted a third term. It only didn't click. Everybody, even a baby, knows it. We saw it in his body language. I was in Abuja, I was at the National Assembly. I saw it. I knew it. They will call meetings, they will call senators to meetings, they will go, but that he didn't himself say is the alibi he's holding on to.
Right.
But basically, he did well, he did his best here. Certain things he didn't get right. You know,
So yeah, what are those things that Obasanjo could have done?
One basic thing. One basic thing Obasanjo would have done. Obasanjo should have apologized to Nigerians. Should have apologized to Nigerians that I wanted to do that, it didn't succeed. It was a mistake. Please forgive me. If Obasanjo could be asking for people to apologize for something they have done in the past, he himself should have apologized for that single thing that he said he wanted to go for a third time, which was all very unconstitutional. And yet he failed. You should have come back in piety and say, I'm sorry, this didn't happen. He didn't say that. If you had done that, most Nigerians today would have looked at Obasanjo from a different angle entirely.
that's what we call moral authority.
Yes. Then just know, if now doesn't have a moral attitude to come back now and start saying that somebody did this during my own regime, somebody did that, somebody did this. A lot of albatross hanging on his neck. Which, if he had done right, youth in this country would have learned from his footsteps. He did do that. He's now asking the youths to go and vote for social candidate. Go on. I don't want to start discussing candidates.
You didn't prepare
yes,
them for the future.
For the future, in the first instance.
For 8 years. You didn't.
So if now it's telling you to go and do that, I won't be talking about any candidate here now. We all have the candidates we want to vote for. If we are talking about 3 candidates, there are more than 3. Why are we talking about those 3?
People leave Kwankwaso out of it.
Yes.
It could be a dark horse.
Yes. But you see, the point still remains that even out of these 3, some people will pick what Obasanjo is not picking. Some people will pick what Obasanjo has picked. But Obasanjo should have said, for me, this is what I want to do. Don't ask you to go and do this. No.
Larry, aside politics, what other areas would Professor Akeyemi would have been right about Obasanjo?
Well, Professor Akeyemi would have been right because if he's talking about Obasanjo messing the economy up in Nigeria. Basically, after insecurity, you talk about the economy because that's what reflects in the life of every human. Now, the first thing that gave us international face, whether positively or negatively, is how we relate with the international community in our fiscal administration. Obasanjo not only wiped the indebtedness of our foreign accounts, he actually beefed it up by about $30-something billion. He said the current administration in Nigeria has brought us back beyond 1999. These are things that you can just Google and search the information, whether it was right or not. What is the situation of our financial standing in the world today? And mark you, the world is looking at us with all those issues of corruption in the land. These are so many. Obasanjo is not saying he's a saint. That's number one. And even if he's saying that, we know he's not a saint. He's been a Nigerian. But 2 strands. If you see something that is even better than you in terms of moral standing, and you stand with such, Obasanjo in those days, and I'm sure Smollett will remember, said he can't be like the president of Tanzania at that time, Nyerere.
Yes.
That Nyerere was a poor man as the president. He saw that, so it's not as if he does not know that there were virtues that he could copy from other African leaders. But lo and behold, somebody was saying it somewhere we were discussing, and he said, well, in a particular state, he mentioned Lagos, he mentioned Anambra, that they had what they call the retirement benefits for governors. I said, yes, their law might provide for it. But one particular one said, I have never collected a penny of it. So when people try to resonate with some things, Obasanjo collects money when they said the budget for next year, that for all past presidents, so billion. He did not come out to say, oh, I am not collecting it. But somebody said, I have not collected a penny since I left to a service and I'm not taking it. So you look at the person, it's a personal thing. And we should not just confuse it. He might not be a Spartan person, and C1. But beyond that, the basic reason why he felt we should be, if they are talking to communities, Obasanjo speaks. The first person that went to meet that Boko Haram guy, Obasanjo went to meet him, was not in his administration. It was, I think it was Jonathan that was there when this crisis started with Boko Haram. He went to meet their leader, only for him to find out they went and killed the guy after. You understand? Building bridge of connection to them. So if he has spoken to that type of a man before they eventually killed him and the whole thing escalated, talking to the South now, Southeast, is not out of place. Those guys are asking that they want to leave. The thing I've always said is this: if you say we cannot be president because we are not many, then let us go. We say you can't go and you can't be president. So his position now is that, look, as Southwest we've had it, Southeast they've had, and South has that. So it should be their turn to be nationalistic. So it's not beyond parties. Beyond party, that was the reason. The major.
We are not.
See, we are talking about. So that's the best thing about beyond parties. Beyond parties, we see things that are underlying all these things that are about to see. We see, we have history. History is right in our backyard.
Was Obasanjo the best candidate when he came?
He was not.
When he came from prison. Was he the best candidate?
Sir,
Nigeria.
You recollect that time that it was Obasanjo and Falai that contested.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. That look. South should have looked for somebody else and allow the whole thing to face out with Baba Tinubu.
I'm not against him.
But if the South,
now just a minute. We are talking about a candidate who said who says I'm not collecting a single kobo from a particular the Dasuki gigs that happened. There was money to decide.
All right.
No. Whose bank?
Whose bank was he?
People's touch and call people out.
No, that's what
These things are public domain.
Call people out. But people are not amplifying it because they have
it's just like analogy. We didn't see oil on the farm, but we saw yams in the sun.
And those who play the yam will answer.
Go on the program. Let's move to the second topic of our discussion for today. Labor to workers change Nigeria's destiny in 2023 through general elections. Smollett, how do you take this charge being given to the workers?
Oh, it is good. You see, labor must be very interested in national politics, because even in US, in Great Britain, they have a Labour Party, because the human being is the biggest asset that any nation has. So Labour must always contribute. I'm happy Labour has not tied it down to anybody. That is what we expect patriotism or patriots to do, nationalists to do. Tell them the problems or the consequences of, but don't say this person is, when you have, where is your proof? Atiku over the years has never been imprisoned. He has never been indicted. Here in our land, Bola Tinubu has not been indicted. The only time he got it was when he was put before this code of yes. And what happened? Yes. Legally, what happened? He is also a free man. Obi is a free person. We cannot say because Dasuki Gate domicile in your, that's a moral issue. But it's not a legal issue. But in Nigeria, you must combine the moral and the other issues before you can really get to the bottom of an issue. So Labour must do what it is doing. Labour must go about sensitizing. Even if Labour decide we are going for Labour Party, fine. There's nothing wrong about that. The most important, you and I here, the four of us seated here, what we want is good governance.
Yes.
I tell you frankly, I don't care who rules this country. So long as the good will come. So long as a retiree I will get my retirement benefits on time. So long as the market woman, the poor, the masses, he will go to his home, he will switch on the electricity and he will run the tap into. That's all some of us are looking for. I'm not looking. Yes, I'm not looking for anything at our ages. We want to be president, we want to be governors. We have passed those ages. but let me live and live a good life. That the government will know that somebody has also served this country in a capacity. The trader is serving the country in his or her own capacity. The iron bender is doing it. Everybody. And all of us belong to Nigeria, and Nigeria belongs to all of us. They must not assume that because of their positions, they are better Nigerians than we are. They may be rich, they may have power, but they are not better than Nigerians than we are.
Okay. All right, so yeah. Labor to workers change Nigeria's destiny in 2023 through general elections.
You see, labor is a force. I must tell you that. Beyond politics, labor is a force on its own to be reckoned with. And you cannot say that all labor members or workers, all workers in Nigeria belong to the Labour Party. No. A party is the Labour Party. Workers, the Labour Union is a Labour Union. So what the Labour Union is saying now that workers should go out and make sure that they change the face of Nigeria to bring better governance into Nigeria. It's not talking about any party.
Could be anybody. It
could be any party. And so what it has said is a very clear thing. It's something that will resonate with every Nigerian that should start thinking of that. This is a call. But the point still remains. A lot of us don't even really, a lot of youth today are going by what some rabble-rousers, we call them rabble-rousers, we call them mind-benders, are pushing at them.
Influencers.
You see, they are influencers, yes, pushing at them. See, when they push these things at you, and you don't have the mind, you cannot see clearly, you cannot Google, you cannot investigate, you cannot find things out. And you go out and vote because of maybe 5 naira here, 10 naira there, 50,000 naira there. You're not doing the right voting. The right voting is find out clearly who is the best among these candidates that will change the face of Nigeria. Who, look at their antecedents. What have they been able to do for this country or maybe for their own states? Look at them personally. What have they been able to do in their own homes? Then look at them again. As of today, do they have the ability to pick the right? You see, a leader is not a leader alone, except to have a good team. And they have the capacity to build a good team to lead Nigeria. Buhari today, I can tell you from my own mind, Buhari is a good man. But that's a very bad team. Members of the team have been leading by the nose. Do you think that he doesn't even want them to do sometimes? Forcing things down his throat. But because he's a weak leader, he goes on like that. But you must have a leader that is strong enough to pick a team that work with him as a team. Okay? That will be able to change the face of Nigeria. Not just a single person that will say, I'm a leader. You are not a leader alone. These are the things Nigeria should do for. These are the things Nigeria should find out, should investigate very well. And then before you pick a leader and say, this leader is the one I want for this country. And what I tell you today, and don't even change your mind, it's you that will really look at your own mind and say, this is the country I want to go for. But there are some people in this country that are using the gas of politics now to overrun certain ethnic regions. That should not happen in this country. We shouldn't allow that to happen, because if it happens again, we are going back to where we started. That would be worse.
All right. Larry, labor to workers change Nigeria's destiny in 2023 through general elections.
That's a good charge from Nigerian Labour Congress. Now, over time, hardly has any leader pointedly spoken about the treatment that has been meted out to pensioners and workers in Nigeria. I kept repeating it here, and people think, why flogging this issue? What 30,000 can buy 8 years ago, 150,000 cannot buy it now.
Even 20,000.
Even 200,000. So if 8 years ago we started this talk about 30,000 minimum wage, and we are still on 30,000 minimum wage, and most states cannot pay it, and we see how they spend our national resources. Do we need that type of government? Do we need that to be replicated in our lives? So when Labour is talking, let us listen to that. They are not directly saying go right, left, or center. However, Nigeria Labour Congress is a co-owner, co-landlord of the Labour Party. Written document. Ayuba Waba sits with the I and whatever of the Labour Party, yes, because they are the co-owners of it. So we can a Labour a worker under Nigerian Labour Congress can, out of personal conviction, go elsewhere, but by right of association, they are part of the Labour Party.
Supposed to be part.
No,
they are part.
Let me finish. They are part. Yes.
Let me add, because like during the governorship campaign, the TUC attended the rally of the candidate of the APC, and the letter was written to sanction him that we told you we are part of Labour Party when it was formed originally. But you see, because of the application of, okay, let's even ask, how many of the parties have spoken about minimum wage in their manifestos? Because they don't count workers as meaning anything to them. How can I be earning the same thing 10 years ago that I left service? This is what they are still paying. How can that serve you as Nigerians? So the reality of it is you have drawn my life down like 6 times under, and the wage that was to carry me those 6 times under is still what you are paying me now. A lot of things we have to tell on how we roll with Nigeria. How can we be in a nation? That's why they are talking, Dekba is talking to his workforce. How can we be in a nation that all of you will sit down and somebody at the helm of affairs as Accountant General of Nigeria is being accused of 100 billion naira, and your minimum wage has not been spoken about at all? Some few individuals have kept 70 trillion under whose watch? 89 trillion under whose watch? So if you want to tell people this is what I've brought you, this is how you look at your result sheet. It's the result sheet that will tell you whether you deserve another opportunity or not. Okay. And that's what we are interrogating now.
Before we do that, I think we must interrogate something else. The 2023 election is beyond rhetorics. We've been having a lot of rhetorics in this country. We talk about this, we talk about that, we give this promise, we give that promise, we talk about this. Some of us are very good at initiating all the things that cannot be done in the next 100 years. So we do it in the next few weeks. That's what politicians are. But please, let all those who are going to vote look at, I will say it, don't look at the parties. Look at the candidates. Okay? Look at the candidates. What can this candidate give us? What are the citizens of this candidate? These are the kind of things I want us to look at.
Yes.
Smollett, if you look
I agree
at this,
with Sonia. It's not the party. The party won't rule us. It is.
But it's the party logo that will be on.
Oh yes,
it's
the man and the helm of affairs.
Party logo that will be on the ballot.
Oh yes.
Is the party logo rule us?
Like for instance, for instance, before you go. For instance, I am somewhere, and there is something that is a symbol of what I represent. If I cannot deliver in that instance, I should be able to. I've seen people walk out of a room and say, look, what you people are planning to do, I don't want to be a part. For instance, I don't want to be, I don't believe in the approach you people are taking. You stand yourself up. Yeah. So if anybody is part of a party that brought us this low, you should have stood yourself up. You should have antagonized publicly. You did not. If you did not integrate, insecurity and all the rest in the land, you cannot keep quiet. I'm happy you must find your voice.
Yes, I'm happy you brought that up.
I'm not a public office, I'm not there. We've been in this studio several days. I will speak about it. Yes, this insecurity is not working. I told you there was a time these people were asking for dollars for ransom in Nigeria. And the man solved the problem.
Now let me keep quiet about that. Let me now. So whoever asks, let me give the analogy. Now you are taking workers. You say workers who they are co-owners of the labor union.
Yeah, labor.
And whatever happens, they must be held accountable.
Labor
Party. Labor Party. Yeah, Labor Party. Now, you are not saying that as things right now, some people are within the party. That party is not behaving well. Because they are not walking away from that party, therefore they must be held accountable.
They must speak.
Yes, for whatever is happening within that party. And that's exactly why I'm saying that forget the parties. There are so many that
we did not promise it. We are walking away from what we promised.
Let me finish. Now let me just finish. Now, if a party is doing something that's not right at a particular point in time, and I'm saying I'm not walking away from that party, I will stay within that party and change things. I have the right to do that. Now, because I know if I walk away, where will I go to? It means I'm jumping in, I'm escaping from the ship to go to that ship. Now, if that man, and you see that man, that this man is genuine, this man is sincere with whatever it is doing, whatever it is doing, then look at that man. There are so many candidates outside here now who are within a particular party, who have been vying for a particular post. within certain parties. And you see that whatever they are going to do will be quite different from what you have been seeing. Look at those people. Look them out. Either for governorship candidates, either for whatever whatever. They will stay in that party.
Deliver.
But when they can deliver, not for them as a person, not for that particular party. That's what I'm saying.
In fact, in Nigeria, all the parties are equal.
Yeah, they're the same thing. All of them.
It's the same thing. That's
You just
what I'm
keep
saying.
changing.
You don't
Just
go to
keep
vote for the
changing.
party per se. Those gone are those days when Nigeria had party supremacy. We don't have it anymore. Go and look at the person you think can deliver, because it is not the party that will deliver. It is the leader of the country who will galvanize everybody together and deliver.
Okay, now, gentlemen, let's move to the third topic of our discussion for today. Audit report: 17 million barrels of crude oil exported without records.
These are some of the things. There is a leader, 17 million goes. Is that a party issue? The leader must be able to look everywhere. I'm not surprised at this. It's been a Nigerian problem. Our problem has always been leadership. 62 years, we have not gotten it right. You need a leader who is a little bit mad, who will not wait for anything but go after these people. Not, you see, too much legality, etc., etc. No, somebody like Rawlings, he was a military person, but for a long time, in fact, Rawlings didn't rise up in the military. He was only a flight lieutenant.
Yes.
So you had not attained that height that you can say, oh, he was an ordinary man. An ordinary man with a good sense, who knows what is good for his people. You don't sit down. Somebody steals how many the accountant general, and you are
Billions.
You are looking at, and tomorrow he tells you he's coming with a plea bag beginning. Collect everything that he has brought, seize everything, and put him in jail. Unless he didn't do it, and unless, of course, the leadership is also involved. If you are not involved, and I don't see how bigger authorities will not be involved in 100 and something billion. So it is our nation. People do this. One man gets that sum of money, and he becomes a lord of the manor. Somebody like that tomorrow will come out and tell you he wants to be governor or president because he has the money, but he's a thief.
All right. So yeah, audit report: 17 million barrels of crude oil exported without records.
Okay. You see, I said something earlier on. I'm still repeating it. If this is boiling around the same thing, if you have a leader and the leader doesn't have a good team, you are bound to have failure. No matter how good that leader is, you are bound to have failure. Now look at it now. Are you telling me that Buhari would have known about all these 17 million barrels that we're talking about? Or all the bunks that have been done in the scrambles? He wouldn't know, but some people under him will know. But are those people under him reporting to him? Are those people under him not saying this, doing anything about those things? And that's why I say you must have a good team to work with. Without a good team, you cannot succeed. There's no way. As a leader, you'll be giving your orders, you have to be flying overhead, and nobody will do anything about it. So that's why I say all these billions of, you are talking about billions that have not been accounted for. Yeah. What about the ones that have been stolen from the high seas? What about the ones that have been, what about all these pipes that have been tampered with? They're not talking about all that. So I think to a large extent, we have a lot of rogues in this country. And yet when we have a lot of rogues, we still have a lot of honest people in this country. But this lot of honest people will not venture into politics. Because one reason or the other, because they know that if you venture into it, they will meet people there. I remember one thing I told them, Ransom Kuti, Beko, and Dr. Fashion, those days. I was in Dr. Fashion's medical office, and we were talking. And he said some people have been, that Abacha would do well, because he has brought some people in and blah, 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 blah. And I said, look, if you bring a chicken into a pack of wolves, that chicken will not survive. If we go just one move into a hatchery, all the chickens will not survive. That Abacha in the midst of all these people will not make this people that is coaching succeed. And that happened later on. We saw what happened in this country. What happened. And so, to a large extent, the leader and his team must work as a team, and they must have good intentions for this country. Otherwise, all these barriers of all that we're talking about, are we saying that it's just ghosts that are stealing them? The one you see a policeman on the road. When he catches you and tells you you have to pay this amount, and you say you cannot pay, look, I have to give feedback to my own orgasm. It may be very nice.
He drops names.
He drops names. And that's exactly what these people who are under the various regimes are doing. And that's why they spoil this country up to this level. But the way we see that we have some good leadership in this country, and we have some, when we talk about good leadership, it's not just that one leader. I mean the team of leadership in this country. If you have that kind of thing, some honest people will be able to come out and say, yes, I want to join this team now. I want to make sure that Nigeria goes. You have seen a lot of people who come from abroad and want to make Nigeria a better place. And what happens to them? They get liquidated when they get back home. Is that through bribery, or through assassination, or through one thing or the other? They never survive. And some of them have just stayed back and said, I will never come to this country again because of all these things. That's because of bad leadership. And when I talk about leadership, I'm not talking about just one person. I'm talking about a team that want to lead this country very well. And that has been my position all the while. So for me, if I'm going to vote, I'm going to really look very, very well before I pick the candidate.
All right, thank you. Larry, if you look at this audit report, are you not worried about it? 17 million barrels of crude oil exported without records, without traces.
It's painful, but the truth is that 17 million figure is just a soft way of looking for, like a way of looking for soft landing. Millions of barrels are stolen per day. Mining takes place, exploration takes place on a daily. It takes place on a daily.
Yes.
And the recent revelation, you see, there are two different types of rogues in this oil and gas industry. There are the small fry rogues, which are the ones Nigerian government has been paying their kinsmen, who are also in themselves bandits with ammunition, to watch. Those are the ones with those so-called modular refineries. So somebody who is stealing in jerrycan are the ones you are capturing. Whereas those who are using a jetty that is almost like an estate, you are looking away. Now, recently when this thing was done, before the Topolo team discovered on the high sea, this is some 7, 8, 10 kilometers on the sea. Who can do that kind of pipeline without the knowledge of government? Some individuals have brought us to that sorry path. And those ones are not recorded, even in that 17 million that you're talking about. Because that goes on a day. And when that thing was discovered, a ship was already there, collecting. The army should have allowed that evidence to track the journey of that. They bombed it. So when somebody said, wait a minute, you are just talking about the small things. These are major colluders in government. That's the type of thing, even if you are an insider, you say, I want out, I want to resign because we are doing 1, 2, 3, which is against the people. You find your voice and say, I don't want it. Your life might be at risk if you are informed about such and you speak up about it. We've seen a few people talk about that. Even against their room, the room they stand in, that where we are lying, we are deceiving Nigerians. Okay, look at Kazauri that spoke about the 89 trillion. He's a member of the National Assembly. The members of the Assembly don't allow him to talk again after that time. Because what do? They call those people and negotiate. We've seen this happen before. In the case of Hotel Oda, till tomorrow, Lawan, the honorable member, was out of political prominence because of that thing. They wanted to go and privately negotiate and collect their title. And he failed them because that one blackmailed them. So look at the scores of such that they could have done to rescue Nigeria. Nigeria cannot say they do not know that you have equipment that can, every liter that comes out of your soil, record it and track its movement. As a matter of fact, it took a young man to investigate and come up with that report, that they should fault that report if they can. That Nigeria has that equipment, but they did not deploy for use. Why? Who are the policy makers that said, look, don't install this, so it will affect the godfathers, it will touch the illegal. So all those people are in the center, they are in that center, and they know that is what they are doing. So to now correct that, you must start thinking outside the box to solve that problem.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. On the mic.
Off the mic.
On the mic. That's
Now, this thing is a problem. As few people have analyzed this problem, and it calls for concern. Then what is the way out?
A strong leader who will checkmate, somebody who does not fear to challenge the oligarchy. You see, there are what do you call it, oligarchies everywhere. But your ability to say, I'm standing for this country, I could die, but I want to challenge them. We have not yet gotten a single Nigerian leader who had that. That's why we say Obasanjo had everything when he came the second time, every opportunity to have confronted. They would have feared him,
Yes.
because he's a retired soldier, and he had not been long. He left the army. Today is so many years back. So we need a strong leader, and then we need a National Assembly who will put in place institutions that can go forward. At the tail end of it all, you need men who have the capacity to run such institutions. You see, the problem is enormous, but I tell you, it takes a leader who understands it. A leader who says, I am ready to defend Nigeria with my blood. When he dies, one day all of us will die. At what age? Come forward with a determination to stop these things. Anything can be stopped when you have the will. But Nigerian leaders don't have the will to stop, and they come and that's our problem.
How, in your own opinion, how do you think we can get out of this?
Yes, getting out of the problem is, I've been saying it's something I've been saying over and over and over again. We need just about, let me say, just about 40 or 50 people in this country who have like minds, who are ready to say that this country must move forward. Okay? After them, have a leader. One as a team.
Not the ones who come to eat.
No, not the ones who come to eat. Have a team. Form a formidable team. And so that you can plug holes everywhere. Once I am in charge of oil, and I see that oil is dripping somewhere, quickly I say, go and plug that place. I don't have to tell my leader before I plug that place. I will have plugged that place before I tell my leader. I've done this, I've done it because of this, because of that. I'm in charge of finance. I see that money is slipping away somewhere. I stop it. Not waiting for someone to come and bribe me and say, okay, don't stop that thing because of what you did there. These are the kind of people we need. And that's the kind of strong team that we need to be able to stop all these problems happening in Nigeria. But the problem we have today, the bourgeoisies in Nigeria today, the elites, they are the ones causing a problem today. I won't say all the elites, the rotting elites are the ones causing a problem today. Once you're able to find those ones who are good among them, who are able to stand firm among them, you get this country out of.
Larry, we have to go, but before we go.
Yes, a quick one is just that, well, before Tompolo saw those pipelines and gave it to Nigerians, it took a Peter Obi to tell us that government knows about the real oil theft. So we need strong men who can damn all those questions and speak up.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's preaching. You are not
Campaign of 25th February will come.
Yes.
And as Nigerians, we will do the needful. We will see what
and we'll go from there.
Thank you.
But whoever wins, Nigeria will not.
Nigeria must move forward.
Yes.
Viewers at home, this is where we are going to round it up for today, the first edition in year 2023. Thank you for staying tuned with us. Tomorrow is another edition where you meet another of my colleagues on the program. Until then, bye-bye.
Mondays through Fridays, 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. in the newsroom. You can't afford to miss it.
Appreciation.
Ìgbìmọ̀ aláṣẹ
àti gbogbo òṣìṣẹ́ iléeṣẹ́ OSBC ń fi àsìkò yìí dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn iléeṣẹ́ tí ń bá ní polówó ọjà ipò ẹlẹ́sìnjẹ̀sìn àwọn iléeṣẹ́ ìjọba ilé ẹ̀kọ́ gíga àwọn aládàáni tó ń ṣètò agon àti olóríjorí tó bá wà dòwò pọ̀ nínú ọdún 2022 bíi PhD MTN Glow Unlimited Wavemaker Media Limited Agloridin Media Scout Media Vizium Akwiti Media Media Reach OMD First Media Red Star 23 Media All Season Zenith I Concept Media Zeal Idem Communications DCO Concept First Marketing Services Limited International Breweries PLC Media Perspectives Limited Exemplary Media Intensity Media Media Mall Nigeria Breweries PLC Nigeria Bottling Company Media Fuel Karat ICP Limited Capri Nigeria PLC Pizza Wima Mamada Oil Company Outreach Angie's Communications and Events Industrial Development Communications Limited ẹ ṣé fún ìbáṣepọ̀ yín pẹ̀lú iléeṣẹ́ OSBC a tún fi àsìkò yìí rọ̀ yín láti jẹ́ kí ìbáṣepọ̀ ọ̀hún gúnmọ́ sí i lọ́dún 2023 àdúpẹ́ pé òkun ọdún ayọ̀ la ó ṣe o.
The management and the entire staff of Osun State Broadcasting Corporation OSBC express our profound gratitude to our numerous media agencies, advertisers, religious bodies, ministries, departments, agencies, tertiary institutions, algon, independent presenters, and individuals for their patronage during the year 2022. We wish you all a prosperous new year 2023. PhD Limited, MTN, Glow Unlimited, Wavemaker Media Limited, Agloridin Media, Scout Media, Vizium, Akwiti Media, Media Reach OMD, Fresh